So we're coming to you from the worldwide headquarters of Network in Action, and we are with Ms. Maggie Jean, the executive director of John Maxwell's team. Maggie has her own company called MJ Coaching Solutions. This is a special deal for me because I've been bugging Maggie for about 3 months to get in here. Maggie's a dear friend of mine, so be warned, this may get crazy. So welcome.
Thank you, Scott.
How was your drive in from Baytown, Texas?
Oh, it was pretty nice and easy because it wasn't traffic time, so
Yeah.
I took my time to get here.
So I love to tell the story. Maggie walked into a Network in Action meeting one day, sort of like like this, like a little puppy, didn't know anybody, and I walked over and she mentioned who introduced her, and I said, well, if you're a friend of theirs, you're a friend of mine. I gave her a big hug. And we have become family.
Really close family.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm having a great time at Network in Action.
That's
Best
awesome.
place to be.
Well, you're for the audience today, you're really, really lucky to be watching this one because I could just shut up and let Maggie talk, but Maggie's got a plethora of knowledge, a lot of stuff to share with us. So we're going to jump in. Let's jump in with your background. You were an executive at Best Buy.
Yes. In my last years of work, I was a managing director at Best Buy. I had a great time. But I felt the desire and the need to do a lot more. I know there was so much more I could give. And so I decided in 2018 it was time for me to jump and build my wings on my way down. And Here I am with my own coaching company. I'm a leadership and development trainer. And just love going out there and helping people perform better in their roles.
So I'm sure you're wondering right now, is that a Baytown accent? Let's get that out of the way. You're from where, Maggie?
I am from an island. No, it's not a Baytown.
I can promise you, if you've ever been to Baytown, Texas, Maggie's the only one that speaks with that accent in Baytown.
Thank you for asking, Scott.
Where y'all from?
I am from an island called St. Lucia, and 16
place.
years ago, I followed my daughters when they moved over here to come to university. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to take my son along with me, and so this is my home.
Wow.
This is where
Well, you're still on the waterfront in Baytown.
Yes.
With the Sanderson River passing through there. It's a little bit different.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
listen, so Maggie went out and, there's lots of different coaches, a lot of different entities and things you can dive into. Why'd you choose John Maxwell? I know why I would have, but why did you?
Well, one of the things the John Maxwell team offer you is a community of like-minded people. There are over 25,000 John Maxwell coaches. The support is tremendous. The resources is out of this world. So I'm in a community where people help you develop and grow, and they support you. And I'm also in a community who take a personal interest in your development and growth. And that's how we're different.
Yeah, one of the reasons I love that is because if you think about it, and not to insult any coaches that are out there, but, if you're not growing personally, it's sort of hard to inspire people to get them to do. You walk in the walk,
That's right.
And that's important. And a lot of coaches I know, it's like almost like a therapist. They get into psychology because of their background, their childhood, and they want to do their work, but they're not, what I'm getting at, they're not doing their work. They're working on other people. And so by being in John Maxwell, so what does that community involve? You got times in the year where you get together, right?
Absolutely. We get together twice a year. Sometimes it could be March or February, but the second time of the year is always in August. And there is always over 3,000 people.
Wow.
And you can get to be in that community of like-minded people who are going to pour into you, people who are going to make you better. Because, like you say, you have to grow yourself for you to be able to grow somebody else.
That's right. And you're also on some phone calls once in a while or mentoring calls?
Oh, you could be on your mentoring calls 6 days a week, all day long. Depends on what you want. Depends on what the need is. And one of the great things about the John Maxwell team also is if you're going to be with a client and you're presenting a proposal and perhaps you may encounter some difficulty, you can get on the phone with your mentors. Yeah. And you can get what it is that you need. Now, I'm also going to give you credit there, Scott, as the leader of NIA, because this is my organization. This is my networking organization. I can do the same with you. If I encounter difficulty and I'm sort of kind of, wading in the water, I can pick up the phone and call you, Scott, and you're going to guide me. So,
well, that's very
yes.
kind. So let's jump in and talk to business owners, because that's your specialty. And I've come to learn, there's a lot of great authors out there.
Yes.
But in the last year, Maggie's just, I certainly was aware of John Maxwell. I have to be honest, I don't think I'd ever picked up a John Maxwell book. And I think in the last year, I've read 4 of them. And I have to say, if you're going to pick up, for business owners, if you're going to pick up one guy's books just to start reading, you're not going to go wrong with John Maxwell.
Absolutely.
Give us a couple of morsels of what you've gotten out of it, or what would help business owners.
Absolutely not. Developing the Leader Within You 2.0. It's a phenomenal book for a business owner to bring me in to help develop their people. As a leadership development trainer, my interest is to help solve the problems that business owners are having. You have communication problems, you have team problems, you have collaboration problems. And I'm here to solve these problems for that business owner so the team or the employees can perform so much better, to help them grow and be developed into high-performing, non-dependent leaders.
Yeah.
Everybody in your business is supposed to be a leader. You can't have everybody depending on everybody like that, because the business is not going to move. So if you want to experience growth, if you want more profitable growth, you're looking for me, because I solve those problems for business owners.
Yeah, this is one of those rare expenses that truly is an investment. I laugh at sometimes when somebody says, my CPA charged me $3,500 to do my taxes. And the next part of their mouth, they're saying, well, I got a $16,000 refund I wasn't expecting. That's not really an expense. And that's the way it is when you work with Maggie. I mean, the bottom line is, entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. I mean, it's tough. It's tough, and the government makes it tough, and it may be easier in America than anywhere else, but it's still not for the faint of heart. And when you start bringing in employees and trying to get everybody to buy in, an investment in coaching at the level that they're getting with you is really going to pay big dividends. Tell us about one of your customers that you've experienced so far that you've had a lot of fun with.
Oh, I have a certain customer there.
I think you have fun with all your customers.
I think I do. And I know most all my clients do have a good relationship with me. And it's not a relationship where, we are super BFFs, because I've got to hold them accountable. Yeah. But I love the growth that most of my clients are experiencing. And I have this particular individual who is a professional in a business, and she felt like she had really reached her limit. And the limit is only what you put in your mind.
Yeah.
But this is 8 months now since we're working together. And it is absolutely phenomenal, absolutely outstanding who she is becoming, because I'm holding her accountable. Every time she tried to regress into what makes her comfortable, I hold a mirror right in front of her. And I want her to know that I'm here to support you, and I'm here to make sure you win, to make sure you get those goals that you're aiming for. I am here to support. Let's solve these problems together, because one is too small a number for success. Yeah. You cannot do this on your own.
You brought up 2 things in that sort of piqued my interest. One is entrepreneurs. We have an idea, we create it, we have the courage to go forward, and we get there, but we're all most likely going to hit a limit. I once heard where it doesn't matter whether you're the richest guy in the world, whether you're the owner of Amazon or you're Donald Trump or anyone in between, we all have a limit that somebody tells us we think we're worth. And when you have a great idea, you're an entrepreneur, and you hit that limit, they need someone like you to help us push forward.
Absolutely, Scott. And that's why it's important that a business owner, a professional, or someone an emerging leader, someone who wants to get more, it's important that you have a coach. It's important that, you change those beliefs and those habits. That's why I'm here, to help you accelerate your growth, because you want more. There's no doubt you want more. And as an entrepreneur, while it is very lonely to be doing this on your own, and you're not supposed to, here I am for you. This is my expertise. This is what I do. I help you solve, and I help you win.
Yeah, and I've noticed over the last 3 or 4 years with Network in Action how important interaction with other business owners is. It is lonely at the top, and a lot of times I know I love my wife dearly, but I go home and I want to talk about work, and it's like, which kid stubbed their toe on which piece of furniture, and so having the ability to get out of your head and express what's going on in your company and get some feedback is really invaluable.
It is invaluable because I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. And that's what you need. You need that person to tell you the truth as it is daylight. That's the only way you're going to get better. That's the only way you're going to rise up to your potential. That's the only way you're going to begin resolving these problems that keep holding you back. There's so much more in you. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a professional, there is so much more in you. You have not reached your limit yet, but you need a coach.
I love this because we all love a great motivational talk and we love to be inspired. But let's be honest, you leave that event, and I was talking to somebody recently that just went out to see an Anthony Robbins event. That's wonderful. Yeah. But really what you do is completely different. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, an event is the catalyst to help you go through the process. Okay. An event just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
But what about tomorrow? What about next week?
You're still waking up alone.
It's a process.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing daily practice. You have to be motivated every day. I think it was Zig Ziglar that says you have to take a shower every day. So you've got to do it every day. The event is great. It's a jumpstart. It's a catalyst to the process. It is a continuous thing. Working with me as a coach or getting your team involved with me as a leadership development trainer is the process of getting you to where you want to go, to make more money, to be more effective, to be a stronger leader, to be whatever it is that you want to be a better person for your family. That is also important. That's why you need me.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So that process, what does it look like for the company? Let's say I've got 8 or 10 employees that want to get involved with you. Am I meeting with you monthly or a couple times a month, or what's
typical? We're going to have a conversation as to what are your free needs right now. If we're working with a team, I want to know, are they resourced to meet your goals? And depends on what the need is, then I am going to prepare a training program that is going to be effective for what is required during this time. And we will determine whether we're going to do it for a quarter, whether we're going to do it for half of a year, or whether we're going to do it for the year long. Now, if you really want to win, and if you really have interest in developing your people, this is a year's contract. I'll now become a consultant for your company. I coach them, I train them, I help them develop. There's a win-win. A win-win for you, a win-win for the employees. Growth and profitability for your business. You will get results, no doubt. You will get results.
So when you've got employees, leadership super important. But talk about a couple other things. Maybe not pitfalls, but maybe things that can be strengthened. I don't use the word weaknesses, but things in business owners that you can help with besides leadership.
Yes, there are business owners who just cannot let go. They are the type of people that believe everything they must be involved in.
Like the guy you're sitting next to?
well, that's just a belief. That's just,
It's very limiting.
It limits them to who they can become,
That's right.
So I can help them.
Who their company can become.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can help them with that. I can help them understand that there are other people who can perform just as well. You call it shared leadership. Now, in relinquishing those behaviors and allowing other people to take on more responsibility, you as the business owner, you now are open to learn so much more and to grow so much more. And showing your people that you have so much confidence in them, there's no telling who your people can become. There's no telling who is the next CEO among who you're developing. And most especially your results, your financial results. You can now go on vacation with your family. You can now take off at 2:00 if you want to because your business is running well, simply because you show more confidence in your people and you give them a lot more responsibility.
Well, I know the answer to this next question, but before I ask it, I got to experience firsthand the talent that Maggie has. She volunteered from the kindness and the goodness of her heart to come in and coach up my girls' golf team. and we did a 10 or 12 week session. They got to read a chapter of the book, right? And it was the
Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Fantastic. By John Maxwell.
Such a tough game, golf, and these kids are out there on the course for 5 and 6 hours by themselves. So sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. And I got to experience firsthand what makes you different, but I'm going to put you on the spot. I can throw a rock in the air and hit 10 coaches on the way down. What do you really bring to the table? We got the great John Maxwell team. We've got your knowledge. We've got your great business experience. But what would you say to somebody that really separates you? And I know the answer for me, but I want to ask you.
Scott, I do believe that you cannot lead or coach people if you don't love people. And I really have an interest in people. People mean a lot to me because you cannot win without having the buy-in of someone. And to have that buy-in, you have to show that person that you do care about them. And that is very important. What makes me different is that I care genuinely. And I love genuinely. I love people because I enjoy seeing them grow. I enjoy seeing them win because that's what they want. They want to feel significant. Yeah. They want to feel that they belong somewhere. They want to feel that they can contribute and that their contribution is recognized. And this is what makes me different.
And I was going to echo that exactly. It's when you love, it sometimes requires tough love. And yes. Maggie has the nicest balance of loving on you and caring deeply about the result and all those things. I know you hear them coming right out of her. But I will say also, like in my life one time, she just pointed her finger at me and said, Scott, you need an advisory board. And I thought to myself in the back of my mind, well, we're growing one of the fastest franchise brands in the country. We hadn't slipped up too bad yet. What does she know? And within about 2 or 3 weeks, waking up every night thinking about what Maggie said, I decided to go out and get an advisory board. And it's been very, very helpful. And I've got people who are willing to be honest with me and confront me and challenge me. And that's what Maggie does. But she does it in the most loving way. So I was just going to echo that you have both sides of that love. Because, for those of us that have kids, we love them, but there's times we got to crank on them, right? That's right. And Maggie can do that in the best way. So if you're a business owner, feel a little lonely, feel like you've hit your limit, feel like that there's more out there for you, better quality of life. It's not always about putting your nose to the concrete and just want to experience that. I would really encourage you just go have a cup of coffee. You're willing to have a cup of coffee with anybody, aren't you? You are going to leave there enriched. You're going to leave there with more energy. You're going to leave there with a different vision, and you're going to leave there with a new friend. And that's what I found when I met you, Maggie, and I appreciate that. So you've done a little networking. Men in Network in Action. What's your experience there been?
Oh, I love it. Network in Action is different. It is just so welcoming. And of course, Scott, even though you're doing the interview, I will give you kudos. You're a wonderful leader. One who really care about the people. One who really want to know where we're at, what you're doing. That's the question you always ask. What you're doing, where you at. That is important. And I've visited other networking actions like the Energy Corridor, right. and it the culture is the same. Everybody cares about everybody, and that's a good thing. Well, there's no place I'd rather be.
Well, thank you. That's so kind. It's funny because I'm constantly telling Maggie, the same kind of qualities that she has for her clients are what make great networking action leaders. We like loving on people. Yes. So I really appreciate you coming in today. Tell the audience how they reach you by email and phone.
Absolutely. Well, I am on my website is MJ's Coach. Is MaggieJeanCoaching.com, or you can also get me on johnmaxwellgroup.com/Maggie Jean.
And Maggie Jean is Jean.
Jean. And for those of you who speak French, you can call it Jean. So, also, my telephone number is 281-838-2959.
And you're not limited to clients in this part of Texas.
Absolutely.
You do some Zoom meetings. You've got
yeah. So I also do a lot of virtual connections. I love to speak to my clients virtually too when I'm coaching. So if you think that you're in, Nevada and you'd like me to do some work with you, hey, we're only a Zoom call away. Or a phone call away. The world is our oyster. The world is our office. That's where we're at right now. And before, I would like to just let everybody know where you're at right now. You can be a lot further than where you're at. Don't limit yourself. And like Scott said about the advisory board, you're a reflection of the 5 closest people to you. So find yourself an inner circle where you have 5 really good people, not people who will just go along with you, people who will tell you the reality of where you're at. But where you're at right now, you can be a lot further. I guarantee you that.
So I'm going to challenge you and leave you with this. Today, whatever day you're watching this, whenever it is, challenge yourself in 3 months to see who are the 5 people you're spending the most time with and having the biggest influence on your life. Yes. And if they're challenging you and they're sort of the level above you, I can guarantee you're going to lift your company. Great advice. They got a free one from you there, Maggie. Yes. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Scott. Call me, guys, 281-838-2959.
Awesome.